Hello guys and girls, it is Kosif here and welcome to another stream. With me I have Colton,
Hey guys.
and this stream again it's going to be a different build and I'm just going to walk you through it and sort of like why it's a different area. So to begin with, it started off with the wilderness. The wilderness started to get really bland because it isn't really something different each time. I'm just making areas greyer and lighter or darker and destroyed areas and all that stuff. It got boring really fast, so I moved over to the Backstory and Falls. Backstory and Falls was a pretty large area, and it took 3 streams to complete it, so that was a total of 3 hours. And again, I didn't want to move on to sort of like an area close to Backstory and Falls, which was the Tree Gnome Stronghold. So I moved over to Polvanech, and Polvanech took a while to do again. I need to do the detailing of it. But then again, I changed it up again, and now we're doing Rellekka. So after, I'm hopefully going to be able to complete Rellekka in this build, because a lot of it's pretty much done already, structure-wise. It's just the detailing bits. Then I'm going to head over back to Polvanech, finish up Polvanech, and then I'm going to start on the Tree Gnome Stronghold. So pretty much to wrap it up, I had 2 areas available which needed to be complete. So I thought I may as well just do them before moving on to, well, building an entire new area. So this is Rellekka, and I opened up another area so I can show you sort of like exactly where. So I'm going to open up the Fremenic province. So far to the south we have the Seers village. You got the Little Dwarf area there. That's like the Backstory and Falls bit right in the far corner. You got the dwarf bit. You got the Magruber's woods. And then you got the Seers village area over here. It's only on the outskirts, so there's a lot of sort of like minor detail missing. You got the Camelot, i.e. like where King Arthur is, all that stuff. You got the, I believe they're called the Sinister's Mansion. So, something around that name. Not quite sure exactly the name, but I know it's sort of like that. Let me fix the door. So obviously it's like this windy road. It's a long road. I think everybody's took once in their life while going to rock crabs. You got the sort of like the offering area where you offer like the raw food for the enchanted Lyra. And the path going up there is to the lighthouse. And obviously this is the Fremenic province, so you got all the outskirts of the Rellekka and all that stuff. So over here, not 100% sure why this is not detailed. This bit here was detailed if I try and find the right area. The golden tree, I think that's it. Let me just open this area, because I was just wondering why that area bit there wasn't detailed. Okay, there we go. So I need to sort of like copy this bit over to the other area. But let me close all these now, just so you know where everything is. Colton,
Yes.
have you ever been to rock crabs in RuneScape?
Yes. Hundreds of times.
So you could pretty much confirm that it was one of the best training spots.
Um,
Pardon
yeah.
me. I always remember running up the very long road trying to get to sort of like rock crabs, because I always started at a relatively low level, and there was never no bank around the area, so you always had to run back to Sears village and all that stuff. It was really tedious, but of course well, I was a noob at the time, and it was pretty fun just to do that. So literally all through all this stream, what I'm going to be doing is I'm in RuneScape at the moment, which you can't see. I'm just going around the area. So let's say this little garden slash farm bit. It has 2 hay bales going across. There we go. So it just has 2 hay piles going like that, and then there's one going across there. So it's pretty much just blocking the path, but I want to update it a little bit so it's more blocking. There we go. So I'm literally just that, and I'm going to do all the terrain and the grass and literally just all that stuff. So Colton, the first topic, it's, I'd say it's neither of our expertise, but we've both tested it of Tristan's work.
Mhm.
And this is farming and herblore. So before we sort of like tell the viewers what sort of like what we've seen, do you want to sort of say your experience from the test module?
Um, well, do you want me to say how it works or just how
Um,
I feel about it?
how you
My
feel about it
experience.
first?
Um, it's it's really nice. We haven't really had something this straightforward in the past. We've usually just gone through our conversational
Oh
skill
yeah.
type thing, but now we've started using scripts, which is great. It's a lot easier that way.
So you sort of like liked the work Tristan did on it.
Yeah. Yep. The demo that he
Yep.
showed us, very good. 10 out of 10.
So now what this demo is, it's skipping the herblore bit for now. It's farming. So unfortunately, I can't show you any of it yet because of well, I'm trying to build Rellekka, and it's something we want to leave as a surprise for now. But we'll add like a small teaser.
Yep.
Pardon me one sec. My cough is still chasing after me. um, so this it's obviously it's farming. So you let's say you have a seed in your inventory, and you place a seed. It creates a sort of like a small sapling on the ground, and you can plant this anywhere. So it's not like you're not isolated onto these sort of like small dirt patches around some areas. So like if you wanted to place I don't know, let's say you want to plant some cabbages, you're not going to be forced to plant them like in allotments, like Catherby, Falador, Ardoing, and all that stuff. Obviously this is only sort of like a test.
Yeah.
And
We're not sure how players will react to that.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's all about the feedback as well. But so we got this seed, and you can plant it anywhere. So it has a lot of realism as well. So you plant the seed, obviously, it creates a small sapling, and you have to wait until the weather changes so it starts to rain. And when it starts to rain, this sapling sort of like starts to grow. And from Tristan's knowledge and sort of like the discussion we talked about it, he can sort of like edit how fast it grows, so and all that stuff. So it's got that real good element of it. When it rains, you know, stuff's gonna sort of start to grow, which is really good in my opinion. From the experience I had from the test module, it was something very, very new and something very good for Molior RS. And I think it would be something cool and unique in my opinion. So let's sort of think outside the box, and I know the server's up. We've got 100 people playing, and let's say God Wars Dungeon, or not God Wars Dungeon. Let's say I'm trying to think of a boss. Let's say the giant mole, for example. So let's say you're at the giant, actually not the giant mole. Let's say the King Black Dragon. That's sort of somewhere far out of civilization. So let's say you're at the King Black Dragon and you brought some seeds with you. It would, well, obviously you're not sort of like inside the lair. You're still like waiting outside in the wilderness. Let's say you could plant some seeds, and then you're sort of like waiting for it to snow. not snow. Waiting for it to
Rain.
rain. It would be funny if snow grew plants, but no. Um, let's just say it starts to rain, and let's say this is some sort of like high level seed. So I don't know, brews. So say I'm running out of supplies. I could plant like some herblore seed and start waiting for it to rain and grow and all that stuff. So I can just pick it right there and I don't know, mix it into a potion and all that stuff. And maybe I'm thinking too far out of the box. But planting it anywhere, it gives it sort of like one of those typical survival aspects of I don't know, a cheesy game where you can craft your own stuff, you can do your own stuff. So I imagine people would be sort of like planting their own seeds in like trees in like rural areas, sort of like out of the way of like civilization. And so like they go off exploring and they're like, oh, it's starting to rain, and they're sort of like rushing back to their sort of like their hidden secret farming patch, if you could say.
Yeah.
That would be sort of fun in my opinion. Because it
Yeah.
would also be funny to sort of remember where exactly you planted these seeds and all this stuff.
I think other people can get your stuff too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
that's why you sort of like got to hide your stuff.
yeah. That's why we want people to maybe not plant stuff all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Um yeah.
Well, to be honest, they could, but honestly, I assume
They'd
they'd be
lose most of
losing
it.
a ton of money. And in the test module, if you didn't pick it, if you didn't pick the plants or whatever in a certain amount of time, they would disappear over time, which is obviously good. Like you just said, not Tristan, Colton. Um, if you like, I know you could be some sort of douche and plant all these like potato seeds everywhere, and obviously it's not gonna. Well, it could affect the server. Say if you plant like I don't know 100 in Lumbridge, we could probably make restrictions so you can't plant them inside sort of like cities and that, which is obviously doable. It's an easy line of code, and it would. I don't know. Say you do it outside of Lumbridge, you plant like 100 potato seeds. Once they've fully grown, you're only going to be able to pick a handful because they're going to be dead soon. So you're not going to waste your money like that. And it would
Yeah.
be fun. It would be sort of like fun if we could sort of like influence it so you can only plant it on like farming patches, like farming. So like Draenor, Draenor has these like massive farming patches and all that stuff. So it'd be cool if you could only plant them inside that, but you had to get like permissions from a farmer or something, which would be pretty cool in my opinion.
Yeah.
So do you want to jump on to Herblore, or because it mixes onto the same topic?
Yeah. Were we thinking of combining the two skills,
Well,
or what?
It's I'd say a primary and secondary skill in RuneScape. There's a lot of primary and secondary skills. Say like mining gives to smithing, while smithing gives to mining. Cooking gives to fishing. Fletching gives to woodcutting. So it's, in my opinion, it's Herblore is to farming. So I'd say Herblore is going to work slightly different in our project. This is mostly due to the fact that it's sort of out of our control. Maybe because of the fact that I'm trying to think of a potion right now. Let's say prayer points and prayer restore potion. So obviously this is a really good and key potion in RuneScape, and in our project prayer works completely different because there's no prayer point. So what's the point in restoring prayer points if there's like literally none in the game? So it would sort of, in my opinion, be the case of we having to customize them, and obviously this is like Herblore and farming talk, so we haven't fully gone into massive detail because it's only sort of like just general sort of like looking into it for the future reference. And
Yeah.
from my knowledge, there's a lot of cool potions. I think say when we fully do Herblore, I think the potions will be more effective to sort of like your gameplay. It's like the generic potions in Runescape are just like stat boosters. We can do that easily in Molior RS with potions, which boost your strength and all that stuff. But there's a lot of potions we can make in Molior RS. So like, say if I'm a rogue, and I'm sneaking. Obviously, sneaking is a big key for like rogues. While you're sneaking, if you haven't seen any sort of like gameplay of a rogue, while sneaking, it does reduce your speed, your movement speed. So let's say Colton, we're both in the wilderness, but we're enemies. I see you first. I know. Let's say you're killing some skeletons or trying to defend yourself against some skeletons in this graveyard. I'm a rogue. I see you before you see me. So there's this potion called the camouflage, and I'm gonna drink it. So because I'm a rogue, and let's say realistically you could leave any minute. So like, and obviously I'm sneaking up to you really slow in this movement because I'm about to one hit you or something. So obviously you could leave any minute. So I need to hurry up. So I have this potion called the camouflage, and what this does is it removes the movement negative speed while sneaking. So there's running speed, there's walking speed, and then there's sneaking speed. Sneaking speed is pretty much just slower than walking. So let's say I drink the potion, and then I would be like as if I'm walking. So obviously I'm not going to be. I think it would be a bit way too OP if I was sort of like sprinting up to you while sneaking. But obviously if I'm walking while sneaking, I'm going to get to you sooner, and it's going to increase my chances of sort of like killing you. So it's stuff like that which makes the game a lot more cooler, if you could say, with Herblore on its own. Because it's going to sort of like, it's going to change combat scenarios rather than just boosting your combat stats.
Yeah.
Another scenario would be, let's say you're a ranger. Rangers don't really have many AoE, sort of like AoE abilities or spells or whatever you want to call them. So let's say you're a ranger, you can only hit like one monster at a time, and let's say you've got 4 monsters around you. You can create something called a alchemist's fire potion. And what this does, it's pretty much like a grenade. There's like an acid version as well. You can literally just throw it on the ground, and it causes. It's like a Molotov, really. So just imagine a fantasy Molotov,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
A lot of the explosion expels and stuff like that. They tie in with the lore too, because there's black powder in RuneScape. So yeah.
That's part of the Eastern Lands.
Which we will have for sailing.
Yeah, that would be really fun. So you had to sail to like the Eastern Lands to get this black powder to create these explosive grenade-like potions.
We could do that, no problem.
Yep.
Well, it'd be a little bit of a problem.
Oh yeah.
But
probably thinking like it doesn't hurt thinking too far in advance.
No.
Oh, there's a shovel by the sandpit. So with sort of like the discussion of farming and Herblore, you wasn't in the discussion of player-owned ports and houses. Not player-owned ports, player-owned ships and houses. So
I spoke with Tristan last week about it, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So sort of like to recap, because we spoke about player-owned ports on the stream earlier, a few days ago, I believe. To recap, a player-owned house is, let's say there's a house, well, there's a few houses in Lumbridge, not Lumbridge, let's say Varrock, for example. So there's a ton of houses in Varrock, and these houses are either just like owned by level 3 NPCs, or I don't know, some of them are even empty. So it would be cool if like these houses were actually owned by players instead of like RuneScape, where it's just like a portal. In like I don't know, there's a random portal sticking out of the ground, and apparently that's just your house.
Yeah.
So what the player-owned house would be is you would actually buy the house and it would be yours, and it would be only yours. So you could like auction for houses and bid for houses to try and get like the best price and all that stuff.
Yeah, and that way, not every player has a house.
Oh yeah.
So, yep.
I would say houses are very they're cosmetic and rewarding. Like RuneScape's player-owned houses. I know you could build like a portal room in your house. You could build an altar for the gods you worship, and all that stuff. And it's apart from that, it's just really cosmetic. So I imagine like only the expensive sort of like players, well, the rich players are gonna have it, in my opinion. But again, owning a house would be really fun because I think it will be very player engaging. Something like so say if not, I keep calling you Tristan. I did this on the other stream. I kept calling Tristan Colton.
Bastard.
Oh my god, I shouldn't laugh while coughing. But anyways, so Colton, let's say you own this let's say you own the mansion in Rimington, which is currently unoccupied by anybody.
Alright.
And you bought this mansion for 1 million gold, which is obviously a large amount. So say if I'm this sort of like, I'm richer than you, and owning a house has never really came to mind, but for some reason, I learned about, I want a portal room so I can teleport to Rellekka faster, for example. So I want to buy your mansion because I got the money for it, but obviously you own it. So I'm going to be going up to you and say, hey Colton, I know you bought this mansion for 1 million, and let's say you spent about 500k on the furniture. Can I buy this house from you for, I don't know, 3 million gold? What would your response be?
No.
Keep
Fuck
in
off.
mind, only one person can own this mansion, and you are its owner.
Yeah.
So you would reject 3 million gold.
Yeah.
How much money would it convince? Well, how much money would you need to sort of like have to be convinced to sell it?
None, because it's one of a kind.
So you would never ever give. So say if it got to a point where,
If it's over, me personally, no, because I can just. No, I probably wouldn't sell it for anything.
so not even for say like
Because
10 million.
hypothetically, I could just give myself gold. I really don't give a shit.
Let's say you're not the developer. Obviously I meant this from the start. Let's say you're an average player. You're just developing the project.
All right, then for 3 million, probably yeah, because that is about twice.
I'm just gonna shout
what I
out
paid.
for I live for weekends. I think everybody lives for weekends. Sorry, just had to say that.
All right.
So you would sell your mansion for 3 million.
Yeah.
What would you do then with that 3 million?
Buy a house in somewhere else.
Okay, say like we had all the entire pay to play and free to play. Say there's a mansion in Ardoing which is really expensive, but you sold your house for 3 million in Ardoing, not Ardoing, Rimington. Where would you want to sort of like live next?
I wouldn't. I'd probably just buy a ship and stuff like that.
Oh, so you'd buy a ship, which we'll be talking about in a bit. So,
Segway, Aaron. That's how they work, bruh.
Sorry, I'm just realizing. There we go. He says we have a interesting project we have going on, so thank you for that. So say the mansion in Remington, I'll say it's a very novice. Your opinion, Colton, obviously we haven't discussed this before, so it's really from the top of your head. What would be the most expensive place slash building in our project which would be up for sale? In your opinion, of course.
Um. Probably.
You gotta
It's
think
hard to
about this.
think. There's a lot of spots. Probably someplace. Well, it depends where you want to go, because we're gonna have houses in every city.
Oh yeah, but let's
I personally probably Lumbridge.
try think of the expensive one, like let's say the Remington mansion was 2 million. Let's say a mansion in Ardoing is 5 million.
Okay.
But obviously that's only Ardoing, so we've got other exotic places like the Crandor, Yanil.
I'd choose Crandor, honestly, because that's where all the cash is at. Trade City. I get so many bitches there.
I can't imagine Crandor being that type of island.
Probably not.
I was gonna say somewhere. If we were gonna think really, really, really outside the box, maybe we could make somebody could buy a temple on an eastern island for like 25 million gold. Now that's
Jeez.
probably thinking really outside the box, but something like
Yeah.
that would be really funny to sort of see. Like you're sailing up to this island, and there's this massive palace which has caught your eye. You get on board the island, and then this player who owns a mansion or temple is like, go away, this is my island. Imagine player-owned islands as well. That would be funny to see it. Although I think that would tie into something I want to talk about in a bit. Not right now. But let's talk about heading back to sort of like the original discussion we were talking about for Herblore and farming. We were talking about how Herblore and farming, Herblore not Herblore and farming, you'd be planting seeds in like the rural areas or somewhere out in the sort of like hidden areas. But say like I don't know, let's say the project is very very sort of like popular now. Obviously this is just like thinking outside the box. Let's say the the server is busy. There's a lot of players online. Let's say about 300 players, and economy's stable. It's fine. Items are sort of like still expensive to get, so you're not going to see everybody around with like dragon armor or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But let's say there's a few sort of high level players with like torstol seeds, which, for example, would be the highest level seed. So obviously you don't want to be planting this seed because it's like so rare. You don't want to be planting it in some sort of like I don't know, Lumbridge West, where literally anybody, even like a level 3, could just like come up. Well, level 1 because you start off at level 1, but obviously like a level 1 could just come up and pick it up. So tying this in with player-owned houses, it would be cool to see. I'd imagine a lot of houses would have their own gardens.
Yep.
And with these own gardens, because you would be the only person allowed inside. Well, say like you got a house, and then the house is sort of like fenced around, so only you could, unless you invite people around, so like guests, but only you could officially go past that fence. So with that being said, you could plant like your own herbs and I don't know, vegetables and plants in your own garden. And in my opinion, that would be very cool to see. I imagine it would be cool to sort of like going down Varrock Street. Say I'm like I'm a new person or a new player. I'm going down Varrock Street. Instead of seeing like this NPC who's been farming their garden for like their entire life, because It's an NPC and they can't really do anything anything intelligent because it's all scripted. It would be cool to sort of like walk down Varrock and see somebody sort of like farming in their garden. You know, you could stop by and talk to them, like, I don't know, any daily chit chat really. Baytown says that this looks fun to design.
Yeah,
Do you want
it
to
can be
answer that?
most of the time.
Oh yeah, definitely most of the time. Um, I was gonna be cruel and say your wilderness experience.
Yeah, some of the times it can be a pain in the ass. There are specific times, maybe adding stuff on spreadsheets, which I do a lot because there's a lot of stuff that needs to be accounted for and stuff like that. Yeah, and the wilderness, the grand fuck up. That's what I'm calling it.
That reminds me, I need to save this.
Oh,
just
good
in
idea.
case.
Yeah, so Herblore, we are adding stuff on to the ground itself,
Oh yeah,
like in
I totally
Skyrim
forgot
and
about
stuff
that.
like that. So herbs and stuff,
Pervs? What's
some grow
pervs?
naturally, flowers, trees and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I would say it's slightly the it's a good concept, but in my opinion, it's not something very thought out well. Maybe pretty
Yeah,
much seeds in RuneScape. The primary way of getting seeds is literally just through Slayer. So obviously this could be good because of the fact that it's Slayer and it's going to increase the profits of Slayer. But then again, it's seeds.
it doesn't make any sense though. Like some of the stuff is great, but stuff like that really grinds my gears. Monsters that drop seeds all the time. No,
Yeah.
my my reasoning is based in lifelike situations
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff. So seeds come from plants, and you should get some seeds each time you pick your plant.
Yeah.
Not every time, but some of the times.
So let's say an example. Let's say I'm strolling around the forests of, I don't know. Let's just say a forest. And then in the corner of my eye, I see this like herb sticking out, and it's a guam herb, which is like the lowest level herb. So what you're saying is, I would be able to go over to this herb and loot some herbs. Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying?
Yes.
That is a cool concept. I was just only saying that because I sort of knew the concept already, but I was only sort of like demonstrating for the viewers.
All right.
But yeah, it would be really nice in maybe for other stuff like not quite sure what else. I think it would be cool to sort of do medium tier herbs as well. Um, So like you're not we don't want it to be OP. So you're gonna walk through a forest. So you're gonna see like 10 patches of I don't know, torso seeds. Um, I just noticed this terrain looks like a face. There's a spot underneath it here. There we go. But like I was saying, we don't want it OP. So like you're gonna see torso herbs sticking out of the ground and all that stuff. Some realism, like you said, Colton, is going to be sort of like key as well. Because games are games, but again, realism, it does give it that fun sort of like edge to it. So I'd say that's Herblore and Herblore farming and player-owned houses. So before we go on to the the last thing we're going to talk about, what I wanted to talk about was player-owned guilds in sort of like player-owned clans or something. Obviously player-owned clans because they're clans, of course, but player-owned clans. So this is something not player-owned guilds. I meant guilds, clans, whatever you want to call it. This is something I spoke to Tristan again, and it's a really good topic in my opinion. So it matches in with player-owned houses. So Colton, if you were to make a guild, what would it be?
Other than what RuneScape has right now, because I would probably have a merchants type thing.
So a merchant guild.
Yeah. There is one, but that's in Crandor, and that's quest specific, so players can't really interact there. It's only for a quest, but yeah.
I totally forgot about that bit.
Yeah. The game's economy will probably have to be controlled by those people. So it would be made up of the richest players. And the way Molior RS works is
Wait, you forgot how Molior RS works?
well, the other way its economy works is a little bit different than most games. Items are based off of your skill and not how much gold they cost, right? Isn't that how we set it up, or is that changed now?
Wait, say that again?
You won't see a level 1 can't get a rune set no matter how much gold they have.
They can, but they can't equip it. So, say if you're a level 1, you have 100k gold. I would
remember we had that spreadsheet where we had. Let me link it to you.
Okay. But in the meantime, it's so say if you are like a level 1 and you got 100k gold. At the moment, I would say the highest level items you could buy are adamant, but this is like items like adamant med helms. Rune items, I would say, especially especially rune items, and maybe sort of like items like adamant plate body, which you can't buy from a shop. I would say those are from the Champions Guild in Crandor, and obviously a level 1 can't get there, so it's going to be sort of like locked out. But from what you're saying, I would say, I'll wait for the link, of course, but in the meantime, you can buy any level items, to my knowledge. I haven't tried buying an item without having the level. But you can buy, to my knowledge, you can buy an item without the required level. But obviously you can't equip the level. You can't equip the item, I meant. But I would say there shouldn't be sort of like a restriction in my opinion, because obviously if you're a level 1, we gotta keep it sort of like non-realistic at this point, so like you can't see a level 1 in like full rune. But obviously it would be really stupid in my opinion to block somebody from buying it. So say if I'm a level 1, let's just say in real life, for example, so you're a shopkeeper and I'm a player, and let's say this is some fantasy world. Let's say you have a rune plate body you want to sell for 100k. I have 100k which I'm going to offer you. Because you're obviously you're a shopkeeper, all you're thinking about is selling the rune plate body, or just selling the item in general. So in my opinion, you're not going to be bothered if I can't wear it, or if it's I don't know, not the right item for me. All you're bothered about is selling me the item and getting that 100k gold as a profit. Do you see my point?
Yeah. What I was going at was I was watching a video recently about how games restrict people from wearing certain types of stuff.
Yeah.
Yet it's based off of a level and stuff like that. Well, we have it based off of our player's level, right? There isn't necessarily a combat skill like
Oh yeah.
defense, strength, or attack.
Um, quick example would be you need to be level 2 to wear iron.
Yeah. Um,
So that's in game at the moment.
yeah. Um, we had a spreadsheet. I can't seem to find it. Maybe it's on your
It may
on your Drive account, where we had the items and then what levels you needed, and then
Oh yeah, we got
how
that.
much the item cost.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
can't seem
I
to
got
find
that.
it. All right, cool.
But that doesn't include anything. So like, you can't buy the item. Uh, as a quick example, a quick explanation. I mean, so let's say uh, an iron plate body. It's hard coded into Neverwinter Nights 2, unfortunately, how this works. But so you're level 1 and you're trying to wear iron. Iron armor has to be between 500 GP and 1.5k.
That's what I was talking about. I was a little bit confused since I hadn't made all that stuff.
Yeah. So unfortunately, you're gonna see items like a rune dagger the same price as a rune plate body. Now you're probably thinking that is absolutely stupid. Quit working on the project. But of course, we have rogues in game, and a rune dagger is as important as sort of like a rune plate body to a fighter. Now, obviously, a rogue could use any item, but I always think daggers are the best for rogues, because it's a small weapon and items are limited, so it's best to use a dagger as a rogue.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I said, it's gonna be very. I know there's some monsters, say like green dragons, which drop like rune daggers quite often, but I think any rune item I'm gonna make it sort of like a rare, so it's equal to a sort of like a rune play body drop. So you're not gonna be constantly getting rune daggers, then selling them for like 120k or something, because that would be
Yeah.
OP. But it's you just gotta be item restrictions for that.
And that's only for shops, not for players, trading players. Because you can open up a store for the merchants thing, and then sell your stuff there for a price that's totally separate from what we've prearranged.
Yeah. For a player, if we're trading it in a trading screen from player to player, it would be let me think. It would show the item level. So like, say if you're trying to sell me an adamant two-hander, but I can't wear it. In the trade, it would say that I can't wear it, but obviously I can still buy it. Is that what you're trying to get at?
Yeah, sort of. Back to the merchants thing. Since the economy is not built yet, that'll have to be built by players. So the Merchants Guild could possibly be the top 50 richest people or something like that, and they decide prices for stuff, who gets what, stuff like that. But yeah, that's far into the future, maybe like 6 months or so.
Well, getting back to player-owned guilds. So you said, like, for example, you want to run a merchant. Well, if you were to run a guild, it would be a merchant guild. So let's say it's you with 5 other people. So there's 6 of you in total, right? And let's say I don't know, you specialize in resources, so like ore, logs, raw fish. I'm trying to think of anything else. I don't know, crafting like items such as like leather and all that stuff. I will talk about that in a second. Go on.
All right, cool.
So let's say you specialize in raw ingredients. So let's say your guild is called the trading the traders guild. Very cheesy and linear. So like the traders guild. So that's your guild name, right? And let's say you want to have a building like a shop. It's normally a lot of trading, so especially because you're a traders guild, you're no doubt going to be sort of like stocking up on a lot of items, so you can get like a lot of profit out of it. So you want to sort of like have a hub area where you want to sort of like work. So for example, let's say I don't know, trying to think from the top of my head. You want to set up a shop in Falador. So similar to the player-owned houses, it'll be player-owned, so like player-owned guilds. Since obviously it'll be different for each time. So a player-owned guild doesn't mean everybody's gonna have a shop, but because you're a traders guild, let's say you get like a small shop in Falador, and the shop is player run, so there's like no NPCs selling items. So I don't know, you could sort of like tell one of your members to sort of like stay in the shop, wait for people to sort of like come in and sort of like buy any resources, and then from that stage you could say to like the developers, say like me for example, you could say, hey, we want to sort of like increase our sales. Could you possibly put up a notice board in sort of like advertising in like real life, whereas you know, businesses would use newspapers and all that stuff. So you could say to us, you know, we want to advertise. Can you sort of like put up information on notice boards? So notice boards are something I would like to add. So like keeping it realistic to read on like game updates. But say if I'm a new player, and say if there's even like a town crier, so say if you pay the developers, say like me for example, you pay me 5k gold to run a week-long advertisement on the town criers in all the cities. So say if I'm a new player and I want to get some smithing done, but I really don't like mining and all the mining spots are busy, but I've managed to somehow get some handful of gold. So I'm going to say like run in Varrock, and I'm going to see this town crier saying, get all your resources at the traders guild in Falador. And I'm going to go over to Falador and I'm going to look at the map, and I'm going to see like this map note saying the traders guild. I'm going to go in the shop, I'm going to see a player selling loot. Not selling loot, selling resources. So I'm going to go up to that player, trade him, and buy the resources from him. So something like that in my mind.
Yeah.
And that's especially for like a trader. So say if I don't know, you ran a let's say you were a PVM clan, we could sort of like, well, you could sort of like buy this, like, I don't know, trying to think where's there's room. So sort of like maybe like a, so like, you know, the guilds in RuneScape, there's like the Legends Guild, the Heroes Guild, the Champions Guild. It's like this prestigious building. So maybe there's like this high level PVM clan, and well, let's just call it a guild. I think we'd probably call it guilds. Guild sounds more professional than clan. Clans sound rather barbaric to me, in my opinion. That's just my opinion,
Yeah.
of course. But let's say there's a PVM clan. Maybe we could build them this. Well, say it'll cost them about 100k gold for them to get like this custom area built for them. It's like a headquarters, so it'll specially be for them. And let's say it's on the same level design as like the Heroes Guild you built in, let's say the Burthorpe. Yeah, it is Burthorpe. And I think it would be very cool in my opinion. So, it would be a very basic guild for them to begin with because it's like 100k gold. Then let's say they want to say, I don't know, hey, can you build us like statues of, our leaders in the like a hall? Say if they owned a hall and like all that stuff, they would pay us gold. So it's like you're building your own places, and this runs with the player-owned houses. So like you're building your own places through the developers, which obviously I'd be willing to do and all that stuff. And it'll be very customizable as well, which in my opinion would be very, very fun to do. What do you think on that?
Yeah, we'll be doing that with player-owned houses and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, we can do that with people's guilds and stuff like that. We could have pre-built ones and then have a player select that through a conversation, so that's automatic instead of having us having to do it.
Yeah. Well, if they really, really do want to sort of like a custom one, maybe like well, say like we start off with like an empty PVM guild, an empty skilling guild, and I know a trading guild. So they're all empty, but then say like they get taken, but then another guild wants their own sort of like headquarters. I think from then we could sort of like build them one.
That could work.
I'd imagine a skilling guild. They could buy like farming patches, and from that we could like say if they, I don't know, say if the skilling guild had like this long greenhouse or long garden, we could, I don't know, put like a magic tree or a yew tree in it, which is just for the guilds only. Which would it would be in my opinion fun to sort of like do something like that. Especially, I think it would be very player engaging and sort of like increase the usefulness of stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it would make players depend on each other instead of like easy updates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The game is much more old schoolish, not old school. RuneScape is, but old school in how stuff isn't easy. It's a lot. It takes a lot of time and skill and stuff like that.
I would say it's very role playing as well, ish. So
yeah, it is.
You get really into the game. Whereas RuneScape, I've probably I've been playing the game for about 10 years. I've only seen one person role play before. But I think it'll be very very role playing ish, and you throw that with guilds and all that stuff, and it'll be fun to do, especially with the guilds and player owned houses. So do you want to talk about the last topic, because it's mostly your topic?
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the rules we're gonna have for multiplayer.
Oh yeah. I totally forgot about that. Sorry.
Which topic were you talking about before?
The ships.
We can talk about that another time.
Oh yeah.
If you want. I guess which rule should we talk about first?
I would say the game rules in general first. It seems very a basic one. I'd say it's RuneScape is a very open game, if you could say. Whereas a game like Neverwinter Nights 2, obviously to begin with, you can't bot at all in it. But then a game like RuneScape, you can easily bot, well, to my knowledge. But
yeah, it's easy.
I'd say botting is obviously it wouldn't be a rule. It's, well, obviously we'd want it to be a rule, but it'd be the fact that you can't even bot at all. So what's the
Good
point?
luck.
there's no point making a rule which is impossible. I'm sure there's going to be somebody saying like, oh, people will work around that, but honestly,
Yeah, bullshit.
botting
You
is.
can't bot on Neverwinter Nights too. What about real world trading?
Um,
Like people selling gold items and stuff for cash.
to be completely honest, that would be hilarious to see.
Yeah.
But I would.
I personally don't really mind as long as we get cut. No.
Oh God, definitely not.
That would destroy the game.
Yeah.
Real world trading. I mean, good.
I would say.
I don't really see people trading stuff for cash for never.
I know there's a lot of third party software out there. Not third party software, like third party websites which sell gold and all that stuff. You see it all the time, like random advertisements popping around. It's like buy RuneScape gold here, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like I said, it'll be funny to see, but I imagine once we servers up and we got like a few people playing, I would honestly moderate, just moderate itself. If I get any sort of like wisp of, I don't know, somebody trying to sell gold, I think I would just instantly IP ban them, because I always believe in like second chances, but if you're trying to sell gold, there's sort of like...
We can see that in the game and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, we can see the chats and everything, so if you PM in people saying, hey, do you want to buy some gold for in real life, we can see that straight away.
Yeah.
But
we can block URLs and stuff in chat,
yeah.
so that's easy.
But it would be easy to catch wind of, in my opinion, because of like we just said. But selling gold, or like I was talking about second chances, I don't know, if you're trying to sell, it's different in my opinion. If you're
we can
to...
ban your name, your IP. So yeah, if you real world trade, then we'll just IP ban you, and you'll be gone forever. Goodbye. Pretty much that.
Because if you're trying to sort of like do that, then what's the point in even staying? Because
Yeah.
you're just trying to make money out of the game instead of sort of like playing it. I say the rules are very basic. Like the typical no swearing, no trying to, I don't know, luring is something we've spoken before, correct?
Wait, what?
Luring.
Luring, yeah. You can lure, as long as it's not like a dick move type thing.
Yeah, if you're telling somebody, hey, follow me into this dangerous cave, or this dark cave, or hey, follow me into the wilderness. Obviously, I'd say that's
your own goddamn fault if you follow that. Yeah.
I would say, obviously I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. You see in games a lot, like, I don't know, there's a damsel in distress in the middle of a road, you go up to help her, then, boom, there's like 3 bandits pop out trying to kill you.
And, yeah.
I would say it happens, well, it happened, maybe it happened, in like, I don't know, the olden times, so, something like that is very, you need common knowledge to not get lured, in my opinion, but, then again, if you're saying to somebody, the typical sort of like the douchebag lure, or by like, obviously, if you're getting lured, try and record it so we can sort of like at least try to get sort of like notice the situation before like any possible actions.
Yeah.
So like let's say, I don't know.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so let's say I don't know, a player goes up to me and says, hey, if you bring your rune scimitar to this area, then drop it, or I don't know, drop it, go up this ladder, then I don't know, do dance emote. It will duplicate the item, and a scam like that is, I'd say something. Well, obviously it's scamming because you're literally just deceiving somebody, but you could call it a lure, obviously, but I would say that type of luring is bad. But if somebody goes to you, hey, do you want to follow me into this you know, dark cave or wilderness, like I said earlier, I would say that's perfectly fine. It's a person's fault for sort of like going into a dark cave with a stranger, or even like trusting a stranger to begin with. I'd say that's it for the rules. The rules are very obvious, you know, very basic, obvious. You just behave really, and that's all you gotta do when playing any game. To be honest, is just, I know you can lose your temper and all that. Trust me, I do it a lot. But the rules of the server, like I said, I imagine I'd be monitoring it, the sort of like the server and the game behaviour, and see how people are sort of like reacting. I don't want any sort of like douchebags on sort of day one of sort of like, you know, ruining the experience for people really. That'd be a really bad move to play, especially when there's somebody who can literally just, you know, you've spent about I don't know, £12 on the game, and then, you know, you're getting IP banned from the server you sort of like you bought the game for, and you can never play that game again, or you can never play on the server again because you got IP banned, unless you're gonna sort of like change your IP every time you get banned. But I imagine it would be obvious trying to track down who's being the bad person. That sounds very cheesy. Obviously it's a game in general, so you want it to sort of like be sort of like you don't want it to be restricted. You don't want to be sort of like being watched 24/7. And there's some rocks sticking out of the ground here. That was very off topic, so apologies. There we go. Let's move these down. There we go. So this is Rellekka. It's, I wouldn't say, oh god, I've forgotten about the hilly areas, or small little islands above the areas here. Let me do this quick. There's one there, one there. There's a huge one over here, which is about there and there. Connect these together. Let's move it down. So yeah, this is Rellekka. Rellekka, I made the area quite a long time ago. Like I said, at the beginning of the stream, it's just one of those areas I just need to finish up, so I may as well stream it. Oops, it's a bit too low. There we go, I'll do. Oh, noise it a bit. Do that around. So, there's not much else to detail in my opinion. So I could add like all the NPCs and stuff. God, I'm getting destroyed by rock crabs in RuneScape. I'm just looking around RuneScape right now, so sorry if the stream's sort of like still. Just seeing where else there is to do. Obviously this is excluding the NPCs. I don't like adding NPCs while sort of like building an area. I leave it to like the second stage. Okay, there's some stumps. Oh, okay, I missed a few buildings down to the south. Okay, so we'll work on this area here. So there's some sacks. Oh, this is very, very basic areas. Oh, detail here. There's some logs. I'll just add a big log, or maybe two. There we go, I'll do. Change that around. What do you think of Rellekka so far?
It looks sort of plain, but I guess isn't there sort of snow towards the front of it? Is there a beta yet? Yeah. 1 second. Let me link you to the beta.
The snow is to the northeast, but it's totally out of the area. But maybe it's a stream quality. Or actually, no, it's not stream quality. In RuneScape, the ground is very greeny brown, so I think that's just the blandness of it. But do you want to talk about the beta?
Yeah. We're in currently stage. Well, it's 0.6.0. and you can check the patch notes in our patch notes playlist. Let's see. We have banks done, right? Is that out, or did you not add that for this?
We have the first stage of
update?
banks. It's only
Okay.
for soaring coins.
All right, cool. Um, when do you think we'll have the next stage out?
The next stage is the wilderness.
All right.
We're let me get my words out right. We are waiting on the server to get up and running before we release any other updates. At the moment, updates Molior RS 0.6.0. There are a few bugs we're aware of, but this is due to the fact that it's part of Neverwinter Nights 2 default stuff. The guy who's helping us with the server, he makes a lot of content for Neverwinter Nights 2, but you can only use this content with a server, so obviously we can't use it yet, but it fixes a lot of stuff. So one example would be quests. Well, my module for the main module at the moment, the quests have bugged again. So instead of me sort of like fixing it for like the 11th time or whatever, I'm waiting on the server to sort of like get uploaded and ready to host and all that stuff, and then I can fix it, because using the guy's the custom content he's made, it fixes a lot of stuff and improves a lot of areas too. We want to release the Calfight King, a lot of other custom bosses. Like I was just talking about, the guy makes a lot of custom content, so he's made sort of like a lot of scripts for sort of bosses, so we'll be able to make like these massive, diverse, cool tactical bosses, which I don't know, RuneScape has probably never seen before. Raids is something cool and different, but it'll be nice to see on like monsters like King Black Dragon. So an example would be, in RuneScape at the moment, King Black Dragon has 3 heads. Let's say in our game, it's King Black Dragon obviously, but he only has 1 head. There isn't any sort of like mods for a dragon with 3 heads.
Yeah, and if we were to make a custom model, that wouldn't really work because there's clipping issues with some of the Neverwinter Nights skeletons and stuff like that. So, sort of impossible.
Yeah, unfortunately. Trying to find the cauldron smithing. How do you use that one? But let's just say the King Black Dragon. It's got a single head, but obviously we want the same aspects of the RuneScape King Black Dragon. So let's say the first phase. Let's say it's got 4 phases. So the first phase, it shoots fire. So you want to use sort of like, I don't know, obviously you're going to be using an anti-dragon shield all the time. But let's say then after that, I don't know. Well, the first phase. Let me get this straight. I need to get back on track. Trying to think of it. So the first phase is fire. So he's going to be breathing fire. So let's say he does this massive roar, which shakes the screen, and then you're going to see these massive fireballs falling from the ceiling, and you sort of have to avoid these, or else you're going to take a large amount of damage. So something like that. Then the second phase, let's say, is like the poison phase, because obviously it's a King Black Dragon. He can, poison you with one of his heads. So let's say he does that, and let's say the poison, it's a range attack. So the magic, the fire was a magical, so you don't want to be wearing like metal armor. And let's say the poison is ranged, so then you're going to be wearing metal armor. And the third phase, let's say, is ice, so he's going to be freezing you and stunning you, so you're going to be wary of that. Then let's say the last phase, he's sort of like getting berserked, and he's pretty much like raging and he's meleeing you, so you're going to try run away from him because he's going to do like these heavy melee attacks. So something like that, very very simple, simple but very effective in tactical, because each phase is going to be different and you're going to be
Yep.
sort of like changing all these stuff. Whereas RuneScape, you know, he's just got 3 heads. He's gonna, you know, he's gonna poison you. He's gonna randomly stun you. But that's it. You know, there's nothing cool about it. You can just stand still, spamming abilities, or just like if you're talking about old school RuneScape, you're just watching yourself attack him. Colin, what is the clothes line called in Neverwinter Nights 2?
Uh,
I can't find it.
laundry.
Laundry. Let me try that. Yes, laundry. That is it.
Got it.
Thank you.
Yep.
I was trying to find what it was. I was searching for like washing line and clothes line and all that stuff, but nope, there was none of them. There's some clothes hanging around. There we go. And this is on fire. Oh, no, the clothes are on fire, but that's on fire. Let's add the... That was a rack. There's a lot of clothes rack or hide racks. I suppose that's because they are Framinic, so they use a lot of hide. There's one to the south here. There's one here. Turn these around. So, after Rellekka, I'll be finishing up Polvinetch, which should be very the same basis of Rellekka, really. There's not a lot of massive detail left to add, but obviously there's detail to be added. But yeah, I'm gonna pretty much wrap up the stream here. So I'm gonna pretty much wrap up the stream here. Colin, do you have anything left to add?
Nope. I'm empty.
So anyways, so thank you all for watching. It's been nice to read your comments, your comments about the project as well. Somebody said Hail Hitler as well, which I found funny.
I removed that.
I found it funny and very random. No offense to anybody, of course.
I think it's a spam bot. I've seen tons of those on different streams.
Hack Hank. That's a very weird name. But anyways, thank you all for watching. So, hope you enjoyed Rellekka. Oh god, let me before I end the stream, obviously, let me show you a quick tour. I'm actually going to be doing an official tour. This obviously includes like the weather, of course. The sky is not going to be like blue, and the fog's not going to be like white. It's going to be all different, but I didn't want to do that on stream. It's rather boring. But so this is Rellekka. So hopefully it looks the same. You've got the farm patches in the back. You've got the... I love this building. It's got the massive boat on top. So Framinic. It reminds me of the Companions Hall, I believe, in Skyrim, with a massive turned over ship. You've got the just houses. There's a lot of like fires around it, racks and all that stuff. It's very very muddy. You can tell it's sort of like getting north in the area because the ground's all muddy. You got like the brownish, greyish, greenish grass and all that stuff. So yeah, it's very cool looking in my opinion, if I don't say so myself. Obviously it will look a lot more better with like NPCs and all that stuff, which will be added in another date. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the stream. So peace out.